Greetings, fellow men and countrymen, fellow women and countrymen. Greetings, greetings, greetings to you. Coming to you live again. Please share, like you might save a life. Now, this is a quick update concerning the kidnappings that have been going on. We have a license plate number or a vehicle that is wanted. That's a Toyota Infinity, black in color, license plate BSC 9552. We are looking for, and police is looking for, a black SUV. These are the Range Rover balloon type of vehicles, a 4x4, a Toyota Infinity, black in color, license plate BSC 9552. I'm going to post a picture of it in the comments right after this live video. Now, here is the story of what happened today, and thankfully, because of your continued alertness, because of the police's continued alertness and patrols, this particular attempt at kidnapping yet another mobile booth operator in Lusaka, this time in Avondale, failed to take off because people were late. There were people around that were just generally alert, and they didn't let the whole thing happen. Now, here is how it happened, and that's why you need to listen carefully, and you need to keep on sharing such videos, because the tactics and the strategies which these kidnappers use there are so many and they are so complicated that if you're not very careful, you might fall for it and actually fall into the traps that they set for unsuspecting mobile booth operators to actually fall in their trap and be taken. Now, the story happened this afternoon, or the incident or the failed incident happened this afternoon in Avondale area, where a young lady, a mobile booth operator, was set up. And this is how it happened. There were some gentlemen, and when I say gentlemen, I mean gentlemen, and you couldn't suspect that these are possible kidnappers. They were driving a very expensive vehicle, a Toyota Infinity. You're going to see it when I post it in the comments, together with a license plate. They came to transact at their booth. When they transacted at their booth, they left. Nothing out of the ordinary happened. But then what they did is that they deliberately dropped a phone just by the booth, a Samsung phone. They dropped a Samsung phone just by the booth where they had transacted. And the lady who was transacting, who did the transaction at that booth, didn't know that the phone had dropped. So there was another gentleman who was near that booth who went to transact. He's the one who saw the phone drop. So he picked up the phone and gave it to the lady. Say, you have dropped a phone. And then the lady said, no, that's not my phone. Then they started looking around, asking the neighbors to say, have you lost a phone? Is there somebody who has dropped a phone? So nobody claimed that phone. And so they tried to make calls. They couldn't manage. So what they did is that the gentleman who picked up the phone actually said, well, if they are owners of this phone, because there were some other people, you know how Zambians are, there were some other people wanted to claim the phone and say it's mine. So the gentleman said, no, I won't give it to anybody. Since you know where I stay, just stay nearby. If anybody comes looking for the phone, just bring them to my house. If some of you are claiming to say that it's your phone, call this phone. Then we'll know that it's yours. Nobody claimed that phone. Nobody made a call. So the gentleman held on to it. Then he went home. After an hour or so, these suspected criminals, these kidnappers, I want to call them that because their behavior was very unusual. These suspected kidnappers then came back right to where they had transacted. And they came back because the lady, trying to do her job in a professional way, started calling the one or two clients that were the last to transact with her. And one of them picked up and they said, oh, yes, it's our phone. We are coming back to get it. So when they arrived in a very hostile mood. Okay, they didn't even ask to say, where is the phone? Well, the first thing they said, you want to steal a phone from us, so we are picking you up now. We are taking you to the police. So the lady said, no, wait a minute. I'm not going with you. What have I done wrong? Because I am the one who's called you to say there's a phone and I can take you to the gentleman who has this phone. He just stays nearby. They tried to insist to force her into the vehicle. So now there was a bit of commotion from the people who were around. They said, but why are you trying to force her if you want to take her to the police? It's better you go to the police and bring them here where she is. But at the end of it all, she has told you where the phone is. She knows. So you go together and get that phone. So the lady totally refused, and I want to give her credit. And I want you other mobile booth operators to learn from what almost happened to her. She refused. She totally refused. And I've been saying this. No matter what story you are given by anyone, Whether a police officer, whether a civilian, whether they are dressed as a soldier, whatever story that you are given, don't step out of your booth and don't get into any vehicle to go anywhere with anyone. So this particular mobile operator refused to get in their vehicle. They accosted her, they threatened her, they tried everything. She just said, no, I'm going to walk. And she walked. She was accompanied by one or two of her friends. She walked to say, I'm going to take you to where the gentleman lives, the one who has your phone. Now, the funny part is that this particular phone didn't have a SIM card. Why would anybody drop a phone that doesn't have a SIM card? It didn't have a SIM card. The whole idea, if you analyze it, is that they didn't want anybody tracing any numbers, and they didn't want anybody using the phone to go to check into the phone and see if there are contacts that can be contacted. The whole idea was for them to come back at a later time and claim to say, we left the phone, you have stolen a phone, therefore we're taking you to the police. But of course, the whole idea is that when they picked you, or they picked the mobile booth operator, the whole idea was not to end up at the police. The whole idea was to kidnap. But that failed. So they got to the same gentleman who had the phone. And this gentleman came out honestly. I won't mention his name for his own security protection. I won't mention him, but I know him personally. And he called me. That's why I'm coming to you live and telling you this. So this is first-hand information that I'm giving you. So he said, okay, here is the phone. I kept the phone for safekeeping because I didn't want anybody else to claim it who might not be the owner. So since you are the owners, you have come. Here's your phone. But how do you prove? Say, no, they were just violent. No, you can't tell us anything. Just give us our phone. We were taking this lady to the police. The man said, no, you're not taking her to the police. Your phone is here. If you want to make this a police matter, you go to the police. So the quick action and the quick thinking of this gentleman who collected the phone was that he handed the phone over to them. Then as they were now accosting the lady, trying to threaten her here and there, he quickly captured the number plate of the vehicle. BAC 9552. Like I said, I'm going to share it in the comments. I'm going to share the picture in the comments. And please, I want you to look for this vehicle. I want you to keep an eye out to this vehicle. Be the eyes and the ears of the police. The police have said they want assistance in all these investigative issues regarding kidnapping. So be also on the lookout for this particular number plate that I'm going to drop. It's BAC 9552. I'll share the picture. And please share this video. Share it anyway. Share it in your WhatsApp groups. Share it on your Facebook. Share it on your Instagram. Share it on your Twitter. Whichever social media platform you are, share it. We want to make this country small for these kidnappers. And whoever these suspected criminals are, they will never drive that vehicle. They will never drive that vehicle in this country. And I want, as soon as possible, we are going to do a search with RATSA. If that vehicle is registered, it will even be more easy. Because whether they run away or not, we will still know who that vehicle is registered. And they will be followed up. Unless they want to run away from the country. Well and good if they're going to run away from the country. But the police are also on this issue. So RATSA is going to do its own search. But as RATSA and the police are working, you also work. I want these criminals, if they're on social media, to know that they are wanted. They should know that they are wanted. They should know that they are going to be followed up. They are suspects. And here is why we know that they are suspects. When the gentleman who actually kept the phone in trust for them, handed the phone back to them, and got a picture of the phone, he got a picture of the number plate. What do they do? They started attacking him. So he quickly got into a vehicle and drove off. And they followed him. It was now a speed chase in Avondale. It was a speed chase. The gentleman actually had to veer away from where he was going because he knew to say if he gets on any road where they're just of the two of them, they might harm him. And he was very alert. It appeared that these guys were even armed. They were even armed because from his side mirror, I could see that they had something. He wasn't sure what they had. But he's saying that he saw something that was like a gun. So he had to rush to Waterfalls. The Waterfalls shopping mall, which is just across Great East. He went to Waterfalls Mall and immediately sought for the intervention of the police because the Waterfalls Mall, you know, there are banks, there are armed police officers there. So he quickly reached there and he told them to say there is a black SUV that is following me. He alerted the police. So as those guys, they were on his tail. So as soon as they noticed to say that he was talking to police, they almost caused an accident. The way they left Waterfalls, the way the vehicle sped out of Waterfalls Mall, I think if you're at Waterfalls Mall, you know about this incident. The way they sped off, you could really see to say they were running for their lives. If these were innocent people and they wanted to find out something from this gentleman, they wouldn't have run away. They could have just come out of their vehicle and perhaps say, but why are you taking a picture of our vehicle? What have we done wrong? But they didn't even give him that chance. They simply sped off and almost caused an accident at Waterfalls Mall. So that is how tactful and criminal-minded. These are what you call criminal minds. The whole thing, the way they orchestrated it, the way they planned it, the way they wanted to execute the kidnapping of this young lady, a mobile booth operator, you can't even suspect. There were so many pieces working together, how they set it up. They, first of all, they transacted. After transacting, they just dropped a phone deliberately, knowing to say that that phone will be picked somewhere around those booths. And whoever picks it, they'll try and give them a case to say you tried to steal a phone. So that is the update that I have for you. And what I'm saying is that let's look out for this particular vehicle number plate. I'll share the number plate and as well as the vehicle make. This is a very expensive vehicle. Very expensive. I think it's in the family of Range Rovers and Land Cruiser GXs. It's a very, very expensive vehicle. That's why these criminals, we are saying that this is an industry for them. That's how they sustain themselves. So I want you to take it that this kidnapping is not over. This spate of kidnappings is not over. Consider it an ongoing thing. Because if you will relax and say, now there are no more kidnappings, surely there will be more. Because this only tried to happen, but thank God, the people were alert, the mobile booth operator was alert, and I want to commend this young lady. Of course, I won't mention her name for her own security. I want to commend this young lady. She was shaken, but she just refused to get into that vehicle. And it's a tinted vehicle. If you look at it, it's a tinted vehicle. It's black. So if she got in there were other guys in that vehicle. This time would have been looking for her. She would have disappeared the way Pamela and Martha have disappeared. And if you've heard, I'm sure you know how Pamela was picked up. Pamela was picked up by kidnappers that pretended to be police officers. We don't know the story that they gave her, but what we know from the bits and pieces of information that the family members gave us on the communication that they made, the last communication and calls that they made with Pamela's kidnappers, the Pamela's kidnappers say that they were police officers, they were investigating something. So it's always around. These criminals set themselves up in a way that you think they are law enforcement or they are business people. They want to offer you a lucrative deal or a job opportunity. Or in this case, they will accuse you of stealing something. Like a phone, Samsung phone, very expensive. That is how these criminals are dealing. So, going by what has happened to our two previous sisters who we are still looking for, Pamela and Faith, who are still missing, the trick is that they'll convince you to say that you have done something wrong. After convincing you that you have done something wrong, they will threaten you, ask you to come with them to the police. Once you get into their vehicles, you are gone. That's why, rule number 1, never step out of your booth. If you're going to step out, don't get into any vehicle with anybody that's asking you to leave. And this is exactly what this young lady did. She refused to get into the vehicle where they were forcing her to get into. And that's why the gentleman who assisted in this matter also was forced also to capture the vehicle number plate, because he said, why are they forcing her to? And you know, these are Ninjombaga, muscular guys, whereby if you look at them, you can't even want to pick a fight with them. You know, they were 3-4. So they were very formidable. This young lady alone, of course, 1 or 2 people around the booth were there. They really assisted. They really assisted because it was the presence of the people there which made these thugs fail to execute their plan, which I'm sure that if the young lady wasn't so alert, if she wasn't following the advice that we've been giving in, day out about these kidnappers, today it would have been a different story. This evening would have been saying yet another mobile operator has been picked up. So please continue to stay alert. Continue to be on the lookout. Look out for any suspicious person. Like I've said, anybody you're transacting with now, mobile booth operators, please treat everybody that you're transacting with as a suspect. We are all potential suspects. Even me, if I come to your booth, I'm a potential kidnapper. Because you never know who the kidnapper could be. Already, we saw one statement on social media that purported that some of these kidnappers are high-profile people who are connected to powerful people. So don't rule anyone out. Don't throw anyone out. Treat every customer that comes to your booth as a potential suspect. Treat them as a potential kidnapper. Stay alert. Never step out of your booth and go into any vehicle for any given reason. And this young lady, I want to commend her wherever she is. You did the right thing. You saved your life. And we are thankful that you are there. And we are thankful that this particular attempt to kidnap was foiled. So I'm going to end here for tonight. I'll keep on giving you updates as they come. But of course, I won't be able to share the fullest information in some instances if that sharing would jeopardize police investigations. But for now, it's enough to say that there's a vehicle license plate and a vehicle that is wanted. I'm going to share it in the comments right after this broadcast. And this broadcast ends right now. Look out for the picture that I'm going to share in the comments. And please share this video, share with everyone. Let's fight this fight. Let's make the world small. Let's make Zambia small for potential kidnappers. And these guys who are in this SUV vehicle, they have made their lives very difficult. Because we don't expect to see that vehicle anywhere on the streets. They should just ban it or dispose it. I don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to park it in a garage, hidden somewhere. But that vehicle should never be seen. If it is seen, report to the police. Report to the police if it's seen. For our part, we are going to ensure to say that RATSA tracks down that number plate. We want to find out who the owner is. And the owner should be treated as a suspect. They should be taken. And an investigation should be done, a thorough one, to ask them to find out why they were trying to force this young lady into a vehicle. Even when they had been given a phone, which they tried to use as a tool to kidnap her. They were given the phone, but they still insisted, let's go, let's go. What did they want with her? Stay alert, stay safe, share this video. Let's continue to hope and pray for the other 2 missing, or the other 3 missing mobile booth operators. Let's put them in our prayers and hope for the very best for them. Good night.